And there shall arise false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. Right? So that's why you gotta be privy to what the Lord looks like. Because their deception is gonna be so heavy to the point that if it was possible, they'll be able to deceive the very elect. But why won't they be able to deceive the very elect? Because Yahweh Shai has been revealed to them. Right? What did Yahweh Shai say unto I believe unto Philip? When Philip said, "Can you show me your father?" He basically said, "You've been with me all this time and you never knew. You never know what the father looks like." He basically said that I'm terrible with the quoting of these, man. But he that seeth me, he that seen me is seen the Father, basically. All right. So reading on, it says, "Insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I shall even quote it here. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth." So you're gonna have even people may come up and say, "Look, man, the Lord is here." But guess what? He's in the desert. Come with us to the desert. The Lord's saying that don't take heed unto them. Don't just because they say that, don't follow unto him. But guess what? If you're not of the elect, you're gonna do that because you're not gonna be, as it tells you in the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter, that he gave them eyes to not see and ears to not hear. All right, that they basically should stumble. They're walking in darkness because the fact that it's not been revealed unto them is a reason why, as and why they're gonna be deceived, man. All right, so it's, "Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not." All right. "For as lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." All right, and that's the point. So everyone's gonna basically see the Lord. All right, the Lord's gonna be revealed unto the whole earth. Okay. You had Gil Scott Heron. He basically said the revolution shall not be televised. But guess what? The revolution is going to be televised because every eye is going to see and every ear shall hear, man. It tells you that in the book of Revelations, the first chapter. All right? Okay, so going back, this is Revelations 1 and 1. So it says, "The revelation of Yahushua and Mashiach, which the Most High gave unto him." All right? John gave unto John the Revelator. To show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. All right, so it's a revealing of the Lord and the things that are going to come to pass very shortly. So imagine this was said back 2,000 years ago, somewhat, give or take, sorry, because I believe John was on the Isle of Patmos in around 96 AD. Okay, so it's about 2,000 years ago this happened, and those things that are come shortly. So it shows you that it's coming now, man. We're in a time. So it reads, "And in the midst of the seven," so jumping down, actually it reads, it says, "And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John." Okay? So jumping down to verse 13, it reads, "And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man." Alright, who's that talking about? Who was notoriously known as the Son of Man? It'll be Yahweh Shai. Alright? That's talking about Yahweh Shai being the Son of the Man. The Son of Man in the midst of the seven candlesticks. Alright? So it reads on, it says, "Clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle." Alright? So he had a garment down to his foot. Alright? Something similar to what I'm wearing. Garment down to the foot, and he had a golden girdle around his waist. Okay. Verse 14: "His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow." Right. So basically, said his head and hairs, the hair on his head and his face, being his head, right, was white in color, but also woolly in texture, right? because guess what? He had an afro. All right. So reading on it says, um, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Why were his eyes as a flame of fire? When you read Genesis, the 49th chapter, it tells you about it prophesies Jacob, when he gave the blessing, was prophesying of the Lord Yahweh Shai, basically having these eyes red, being red with wine, right? That's what it says. And then reading on it says, and his feet were like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, all right? So he said his feet was um, fine brass as if it burned in the furnace. So if you take brass is already brown in color. But if you take brass and you burn it in an oven, what color does it become? If you put anything and it gets burnt in an oven, what color is burnt? Burnt's black, basically. So they're talking about the Lord, who's a very dark in complexion individual, all right? So he was dark skinned, basically, all right? So and then it says, and his voice was as the sound of many waters, right? So he had a loud voice, and that's why he could be pushed from a shore and prophesy unto the people on the shore, right? Because that's how great his voice carried, okay? But now there's something I wanted to go into. So that there reveals the color of the Lord, right? Shows you that he's a so-called black man. Okay, so now I'm gonna move to back to Psalms 50, all right? So it's Psalms 50, and I'm gonna start from 16 again, right? So Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So he's basically talking about, hey, starting with the so-called Jews, who are known as, according to the Bible, they're known as Edomites, right? But not only Edomites, they're known as Amalek, right? Basically being the chief house within the house of Esau, okay? Because them, starting with them, they actually took the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible and put it upon themselves, all right? But they know full well that that don't resonate with their spirit, man, all right? As I mentioned before, Cain, the example of Cain couldn't do the right thing. And then even a better example, more in tune with the spirit of them today, is Esau, their forefather, all right? What did Esau do? Esau, when he had the opportunity to do the right thing, he didn't even have the opportunity to do the right thing. What he actually did is he had it already. He had the birthright. But guess what he did? He gave it away for basically some food because he didn't catch nothing. Rather than just saying like, look, to say to Jacob, like, am I not your brother? You don't want to feed me, all right? But you want to take my birthright. He basically gave it to him. He said, look, what profit is it? Because he didn't really understand the depths of what he had, all right? So that shows you that this never resonated with his spirit, so why then should he take it unto himself, all right? So Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, all right? So the Lord's saying, why would you take my covenant in your mouth, right? Because they've now put the covenant upon them. So now they've made themselves liable to the laws of this Bible, all right? And they know full and well they ain't doing nothing in this Bible. Because if they were, they would shut down the whole of the world, all right? Because they have that power and control on the Sabbath day. When that's what I was gonna go into. I'll go into that afterwards, the new moon, all right? You would know that you shut down the new moon, and after the new moon that gets declared, you count 7 days on. Then on the 7th day after that, you basically establish the Sabbath. All right, no one will be able to do nothing. But he's not doing that, all right, even though he has the power to. Because why? He's the wicked, all right? It's not in his spirit to do so, okay? So now, it says, verse 17. Actually, let me